Today I'm going to talk about how I clean my Sunsun 304B canister filter. So I get the water in the trash can and treat it with safe. And it's usually a degree or two warmer than the tank water because being outside in the winter is going to cool off. Instead of carrying my Sunsun 304B, I use a cheap Harbor Freight uh, dolly and a piece of plywood on top. If you'll notice all the buckets, uh, the one bucket I'll use to refill the canister filter when we're all done cleaning. The smaller bucket cleans out the core sponge in the canister filter. The middle bucket is the bucket that the top sits in. The brown water bucket right there you're looking at is what I wash the media out with, and the last bucket is the bucket that the media stays in. I'm going to go ahead and pop the top off. This usually takes two hands, so I'm going to put the camera down and pick it up in a minute. So you can see the top of the open Sunsun 304B canister filter, and basically it doesn't look too bad at that point, but it'll change here in a minute. And there's where the bucket I used to keep the top of the Sunsun canister filter. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this top piece out and give it a good rinse. As you can see from the camera, the media has got some gunk buildup, so I'm going to pull these trays out and give them a good rinse and store them in a bucket of water. So there's the nasty canister water. The only tray left in there is the core sponge and cotton polishing pad, and you can see it's pretty nasty looking. There is the washout bucket that I use, and then, as I said earlier, there is the bucket with the media being stored in the water. So I'm going to pull this out, and it's pretty nasty. So you can see it's got the polishing pad, and underneath it is the core sponge. And as you can see, we're just down to the nasty canister water that will get dumped out and the canister rinsed out. Okay, just so you can all share in the grossness, I'm going to dump out the water in the canister and just show you how nasty these canister filters can get. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed, but as you can see, it's pretty icky, pretty nasty. So I'm going to go ahead and dump the rest of this out, and then we'll get everything rinsed out. At this point, we got all the water out. I'm going to take it back to the trash can, throw some of the treated water in it, and get it rinsed out. This is about how clean I get it. The yellow dot is used to line the trays up. Now, one of the secrets I have from keeping a canister filter from leaking is I use a washcloth, and where the seal goes into the canister, I make sure I get that good and clean. As you can see, this is the top of the canister, and I'm going to go all the way around the whole top and make sure I get all this area clean. This is what seals to the bottom of the canister and keeps you from having leaks. So this is the bottom of the canister filter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the holes on the tray with the dot. Now, as you can see, this is a white polishing pad, and the blue is the core sponge. On a Sunsun, because the water drives from the bottom to the top, this goes on the bottom of the canister filter. So basically your water is coming up, it runs through the blue core sponge, through the white polishing, and to your media. So I'm going to stack this media tray on top of each other. So there's going to be the polishing tray and two media trays. And typically what I do is I like to get them pre-assembled outside the canister and make sure that the trays are all nice and connected to each other. As you can see here how they fit inside each other. So there's the second, and here comes the third. Now, when you get the third one on, my other little trick here is to take my thumb and grab all three trays. And with my right hand, I'll kind of grab the back of the trays, and then we're going to slide them all together with the hole lining up on the blue dot, or the yellow dot. So what I'm doing here, I'm taking my finger and I'm going down the drain tube to make sure that there's no gaps in there. That's where the water is going to go to the bottom, and then the pump's going to pull it back through the media. So now I'm going to take my top with the top cover on the top tray. We'll pull that top cover off, make sure my top tray is on there good and square and level. This is an important spot to get your top to seal good. This is all in there nice. I'm going to put my top cover back on, and we'll be ready to go and put the canister filter on. As you can see, I like to clean my canister filters outside. So what I like to do at this point is take this clean treated water and pour it all into the canister filter to the top. By doing this, when I put the top of the canister filter on, it makes, I feel, a better seal and keeps it from wanting to leak. You can see the treated water in the canister filter. You can also see where the top has been cleaned with the washcloth. And with it being so full, when I put the top on, it will create a better seal. So here's the canister filter completely put back together. But as you noticed in the last portion, the water was high. When I put the top on, it displaces water out through these two holes where the hoses connect and makes for a very good seal on your canister filter. So now it's ready to wheel back into the fish room, be hooked up, and will need no priming and ready to start when you plug it in.